Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Capital City News. I'm your host, Stephanie Sewer. In this episode, we're talking about all sorts of fun things. We have the upcoming Pride Month. We're talking Harvey Milk. We're talking library rooftop openings. We have all sorts of fun stuff in store. So let's go. What an amazing view. Do you know where else has an amazing view? The Salt Lake City Main Library, where we recently reopened the rooftop. There are bees up there and plenty of places to sit. So let's take a look at the grand reopening.
3, 2, 1!
The library is our special space. It always has been. But with this transformation, it's becoming a true third space for us. The space where we build relationship as a community, where we all can come and hang out. And I can imagine that a lot of weddings and parties are also going to be scheduled up here. These third spaces make democracy work.
Pride Month got a start with the Sego Belonging flag raising at Washington Square.
This is a flag that embodies not only the beauty of our beautiful LGBTQ plus community, but the very heart of Salt Lakers and Salt Lake City itself, which is our shared values of love and inclusion. So today is a milestone. Today is a celebration, and today is about so much more than a flag. What we're doing today is about the dignity and the worth of every single person in this community. No matter who they are, and no matter who they love, it's about weaving that worth into the very fabric of our city, where it's always been and it always belongs. It's about remembering that unity does not come from sameness, but it comes from mutual respect and care that helps us bridge our differences. We created the Sego Belonging flag in the spirit of what makes Salt Lake City so special. The belief that inclusion is not just an ideal, but it's a responsibility.
The Utah Pride Center and Equality Utah organized Utah's annual Pride Rally and March, as well as the Utah Pride Parade, Utah's largest Pride event. It hosts nearly 150,000 spectators and participants and creates a spectacular chance for our community to show radical love. In addition, the Utah Pride Festival provides a safe, celebratory space for queer folks and allies alike. Picnic tables are a place where people connect. So now let's take a look at one of Salt Lake City's newest projects called WeConnect.
In the work the Transportation Division does, it's become apparent that the east-west divide is the single biggest transportation issue in Salt Lake City. So we're doing a 2-year study to work with the community that's directly affected by this divide, to understand how they experience the problem, what the problem means to them, and then to try and come up with community-led solutions to it.
Yeah, so it's nice to have these community events and, being able to have the taco truck and interactive things. We have our graphic recorder who's been able to kind of capture a little bit more of the emotions. And it's been really nice to have the community event because holding at the elementary school, we get a lot of those kids. And ultimately, that's who this is going to be for, right? We'd want, if they want a soccer field or if they need access to those kind of amenities, it's how can we connect them to those things.
What we are doing today is we're getting some feedback on how people are traveling from east to west in Salt Lake City, and trying to understand what kinds of barriers they're running into, where they travel, what routes they actually use well and work well, and what routes are really they avoid at all costs. So in certain crossings that people are struggling with, I think a lot of comments about the railroad and alternative routes that people are having to take when a railroad car blocks the road. In general, I would say people have been super civil. They have concerns, but it's been pleasant to talk to people. So,
I think in general we find that when we can capture the imagination with people's words and a photo, it says way more than print. It really expresses who they are, and it actually brings content to life. So it's interesting, as soon as somebody would kind of discuss it, and then I had wonderful help. Nancy really kind of helped bottom line their comments. Then once it went up there, both she and I noticed that they just had a sense of pride or a sense of like, I've actually been heard. So I think that was the magic. I guess one of the things that maybe touched me the most was the fact that these people feel a lot of pride and they see the East Side getting on the Historical Society. That feels wrong. It's almost like they can deal with the traffic, they can deal with the resources, but when it's insulting, that's not okay. And I think that's really what I certainly heard and uncovered tonight.
At the station, we were just asking people, what amenities exist in their neighborhood, whether that's transportation infrastructure or something like a grocery store that they'd like to see. And so we're thinking about what things people would like to see more of, or maybe what is missing in their neighborhood. At this board right here, we're looking at education, work, community space, parks and open space, healthcare, grocery, restaurants, those categories. And then thinking about if you stay on the west side for those things, you would put a green dot. And then if you're leaving the west side, you're finding that those services aren't being fulfilled here, then you could put a red dot that you're leaving the west side for those items. I think my favorite thing was there was a group of kids that came in, and I do think it was maybe because they wanted tacos, but they told us that they wanted more soccer fields. I heard a trampoline park, so I thought that would be pretty cool. And one little girl came up to me and just told me she wanted magic. So I think more spirit like that. I would love a little bit of magic to get some solutions.
But it is more than just a transportation issue. It shapes how we invest in our communities and how communities see themselves.
One of the last stories was somebody that their date dropped them upon learning where he lived. So that was pretty sad. The flowers. Oh, I forgot. Actually, the flowers never got given because she said, no, thank you. You live on the west side. Oh.
A lot of the time in our work, we identify a specific problem and we come in with a specific treatment and apply it. We really want to step back from that and be told what the problem is that we should be solving. So that's what we're doing here.
Born from the womb of Mother Africa, the origin of all humanity. My name is the messenger, and I am calling the tribe.
Salt Lake City joined community leaders for an early celebration of Juneteenth National Independence Day at City Hall by raising the Sego celebration flag, representing the history of Juneteenth and the city's Black and African American residents.
We were here since 1945 and have been able to establish ourselves here in Utah and be a part of the Utah legacy.
It's a great place to be, and it's a great place to make a difference, and this is an example of that difference, so God bless you all.
The 5th annual Salt Lake Juneteenth celebration will feature a Black-owned business expo, a curation of artwork by local artists, live music and performances, child-friendly activities in the Kids Corner, roller skating for all, and much, much more.
It's hot outside. I really wish I had a glass of milk. Speaking of milk, this week's History Minute is about Harvey Milk, a political activist who fought for LGBTQ rights. Let's take a look.
In 1977, Harvey Milk became the first openly gay politician elected to office in the state of California. As an outspoken advocate of LGBT rights, Milk was only able to serve for 11 months before he was assassinated. During that time, though, he was able to sponsor an ordinance in San Francisco that protected people from facing discrimination at work, home, or in public on the basis of sexual orientation. He became a martyr and an icon for LGBT rights and political activism around the world. In 2010, under the leadership of Mayor Ralph Becker and the City Council, Salt Lake City was finally able to pass their own version of a non-discrimination ordinance with the support of all the major stakeholders in the state. With this coalition and momentum behind them, the city moved to designate a street in recognition of Harvey Milk. In 2016, Led by Mayor Jackie Biskupski and the City Council, 900 South was renamed Harvey Milk Boulevard in honor of one of the most important politicians in the civil rights movement, proving that his legacy lives on everywhere a spirit of equality takes hold, as it does in Salt Lake City.
And that's it for another episode of Capital City News. Remember, it's your best way to stay informed on all that's happening in Salt Lake City. You can do that by following us on social media at SLC Gov, tuning in to Channel 17, or following us on YouTube. Signing off from Bonneville Shoreline Trail Line. Have a good one.